Hey everybody, it's Miss Carp. I am going to be going through our notes for today. So we're looking at population, which is just people. How many are there? Where are they? What are they doing? And our guiding question today is how does the world's population affect globalization, which is the spread of culture and the creation of one global culture that's interconnected. Okay, remember that you are writing the things in red. So, our first term is death rate, and that's the number of deaths per year for every 1,000 people. So, they look at a group of 1,000 people that started the year and didn't finish the year, and then they're figuring out how many deaths per 1,000 people there were. Birth rate is exactly the opposite of that. So it's the number of births per year for every 1,000 people. So they look at the end of the year of 1,000 people, how many people did not start the year here and ended the year here. Okay. Famine is a severe lack of food. So, not like your mom didn't buy the Cheetos that you love, but whole crops are wiped out or farms aren't producing what they need to be. A lot of times it's caused by something called drought, which means there's not enough rain or not enough water for those plants to grow. It could happen because of natural disaster, but it's just a severe lack of food. What helps countries to make food? Okay, and this is tied into population because we're humans, we need food to grow and be alive. Okay, technology like irrigation systems and crops that are genetically modified. Irrigation systems are systems that bring water from where it is to where it needs to be. And genetically modified is probably something that you've heard before. And what we do is scientists change the plants so that they grow faster, that they need less water, maybe they're more resistant to bugs, but we're somehow changing the makeup of that plant so it's easier to grow. Okay. Population density. This is density just like how you use it in science. So it's the average number of people living in a square mile or kilometer. So they look at a square mile and they look at how many people live there. The more people, the higher your population density. So density is how much stuff is in a given space. So we're looking at how many people are in a given space. Okay, so out in the middle of nowhere in Montana, population density is very low. In New York City, population density is very high. So if we were to look at the same square mile, lots more people live there, the population density is higher. Migration. So there's internal migration and there's international migration. Internal is inside. So that's when people move from place to place within their own country. So maybe you move from Wisconsin to Minnesota or you move from Minneapolis to St. Paul. That's internal migration. And migration is just moving. Okay. International migration is when people move from one country to another. So you move from the United States to France, or you move from New Zealand to Portugal. Okay. That is you internationally between nations moving. People move for a lot of different factors, and this is something that geographers study really heavily. So there's something called push factors and pull factors. Push factors are negative factors that cause people to emigrate with an E, which is to exit. Okay. This could be due to food shortages, lacks of jobs. There could be a natural disaster. There could be, like we're experiencing right now, a pandemic, and people want to move from wherever they are because it's not going great. And then there's something called pull factors, which are factors that attract people to a new country. Maybe you want to move somewhere where there's more jobs or where there's a better school. Or maybe you want to move somewhere where there's lots of nature because that's something that you're into. So push factors are negative things that push you out of your country. Pull factors are positive things that pull you into another country. Refugees. These are a different kind of migration action right here. So these are people who are forced to flee their country, usually to escape war, persecution, or disasters. So these are not people who are choosing to leave. It's not their choice. They have to leave, usually because their life is in danger. So a refugee is not just somebody who's like, oh, I think I'll go take a job in a different country. It's somebody who's like, grab your stuff, we're running out the door right now. Another thing to talk about when we're talking about population is something called urbanization. This is the growth of cities. So as more people move to the cities and as more people come there for jobs, etc., we get cities that are growing and growing bigger and bigger. Okay, you are going to, in this bottom space on your notes, write me a 3-sentence summary, not more, not less, and you're going to answer these questions, and that should help you to do your summary. How does population affect globalization? And in what ways does population change?